It is Thursday, July 21st in the MLB, and I'm Austin from Calling Our Shot.
And I'm Logan from Calling Our Shot.
And we are back. We know you guys missed us. We got our favorite game picks for the MLB. 2 game picks, 1 no in first inning coming your guys' way.
As always, guys, just do us a real quick favor. Hit that subscribe button, especially if you missed us, right? During the All-Star break. We're going to be doing baseball all season long. We're going to finish out the season strong, even better than the first half of the season. Big things are coming your way.
Yeah, we aren't stopping anytime soon. We know you guys might have missed we didn't want to do a home run derby replay, although we did kind of watch it and we didn't do the All-Star game. But we are back today. Let's recap Sunday before we get into it. It was a 2-in-1 day. Yankees and Giants both covering their first 5 run lines. Braves, Orioles, no run in the first inning. Oh, well, not much you about that. Now, I do want to recap. We do always have our full season recap going at the bottom of the screen, but I'm going to throw it up here. Look, plus 12.292 units. Not too shabby on the first half of the year, but we're going to try to double that, at least get over 25 units, hopefully 30-plus units, and kind of dominate the second half of the year. But we got our 3 favorite plays today. We appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. We love our All-Stars. Thank you all for the All-Star support. If you want to support the channel even more, it only costs $2.99 a month to become an All-Star. A couple new ones, Rohan, Chase, Stan, and Justin, both are returning back to the COS All-Star group. We love our All-Stars. Hit that join button on this channel right next to our channel name after you hit that subscribe button. And also, if you want to join our chalkboard, discuss some plays with us. Today's slate in the MLB, not great, but tomorrow's slate, we got a doozy. So definitely join our chalkboard. Top link in the description. We certainly would appreciate it. But Logan, what do you got for the people today on your first day back?
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's not a super great slate, so I am forced to pick a total. Normally, guys, you know me, I don't like to pick totals, but I feel good about this one, right? Going to the Giants versus Dodgers game, and I'm taking the under 8.5 total runs. Currently, minus 114 odds on Barstool's your best value. Now, it's interesting. Not a whole lot of books have lines out for this game, or maybe not, but it might be 8 on your book. I like it at 8.5 a lot better than 8 because I could see them landing right on 8. It happens very frequently. So maybe hold out. See if the public can bet it up to 8.5, and then you get the under at 8.5. But I do like the extra half point there. Now, I don't like betting baseball based on trends. It is exactly how you steer yourself into some L's, but this trend is actually on our side. So I'll tell you, the total has gone under in 4 out of the last 6 games between these 2 teams. For what that's worth, right? That's not why I'm picking this, but it is on our side. Rodon is pitching for San Francisco today, and we love to see that. 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, and 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs in both of his starts versus the Dodgers this year. He's been really solid. The Dodgers have not really been able to hit him all that well, and his whip, right? Walks, hits per inning pitched, for anybody that doesn't know, it's a ratio, and you want that number to be under 1, which shows a lot of control. In those 2 starts, his whip 0.83. So you love to see that. A whip under 1. He's not putting on some free base runners. That's how the Dodgers offense usually likes to get started, right? Now, also a really good piece of evidence that makes me feel great about this under, the Dodger hitters versus Rodon, right? Will Smith 1 for 5. Mookie Betts 1 for 17, right? Wow. Turner 1 for 9. Freeman and Bellinger both 0 for 5 versus Rodon. So they've seen him before, and Rodon has gotten the best of these Dodgers hitters. I hope he can go ahead and continue that trend for us today, and I hope he can shut down the Dodgers offense. I really do like our chances there, in the starting pitchers. Now, we can talk about who's pitching for the Dodgers today. It's scheduled to be Mitch White, right? Now, if it switches up, don't come back to this video. Logan, it changed. Yeah, some of the books don't even have a pitcher listed for this one, but it should be Mitch White. In his last 3 starts, 6, 0, and 1 earned runs. Yeah, he really got tattooed by the Cardinals in his most recent start with 6 earned runs. But he's been a really solid pitcher at home, 3.6 home ERA. So Mitch White should be pretty solid. And now his whip. I mean, it's a little bit high, on the higher side. 1.35 whip at home. What I'm asking for Mitch White to do today, no free base runners for San Francisco, because this offense, thrives on the home run ball. And if there's some solo bombs, we can live with that with this over-under, but we can't live with some 3-run blasts. And that's absolutely not allowed. San Francisco's offense, right? 26 in hits on the road, 28 in strikeouts on the road. So being so bad in hits on the road, it makes it even more important that Mitch White shows some control and doesn't, walk and give them free base runners. San Francisco also 19th in batting average on the road. So you see they are, sort of a back of the pack offense on the road. When they're not bombing some home runs, they're usually not scoring all that consistently. In their last series versus the Brewers, it was bombs away. They were putting up hits and runs, at a great pace. The All-Star break might cool down that offense. we've seen it before, right? It always happens. They have a few days off, come out with some lazy swings. That's baseball for you. And if you don't want to touch the bullpens in this game, and you don't want to touch the the full 8.5, I don't mind under 4.5 in the first 5 if you do want to avoid the bullpens. But I think the bullpens do kind of nullify each other, right? We know San Francisco's bullpen has been brutal for them this year, 23rd in bullpen ERA, but it cancels itself out, in my opinion, with the Dodgers being 6th in bullpen ERA. So I think these two bullpens can hold it down and can keep this total under 8.5. I really do like it for this one. In a limited slate, we're going to go ahead and play a total with our first pick. But Austin, what do you got for your pick today?
Yeah, so, I want to always try to give you guys a player prop, but there's really, like Logan was saying, it's tough. Like, we don't even know exactly who's starting for any of the teams today. So instead, I'm just going to go to a game that pretty early on the day. We're going to the Miami Marlins game. I'm taking their team total under 3.5 runs, minus 120 on PointsBet. Now, we are seeing the 3.5 on almost every single book, which is pretty good. If it goes down to 3, I would not touch it there, but 3.5 is a good spot, which I will take it today. Now at minus 120 on PointsBet. Now, we look at the Marlins. They've been without these couple guys, but I do want to bring them up. John Birdie and Jazz Chisholm Jr. These are two guys that are very important for this offense, and they've been without them. And you look at the Marlins, they've really been struggling because those are two guys that lead the team in runs. You see Chisholm, 39 runs, and Birdie, 32, both 1 and 2 on the Marlins. Now, you look at over the last 3 games, Marlins have scored just 1 run. They've had 0-0 and then 1 run combined over the last 3 games. It's a team that's really struggling to get runners on base and to score. Now, the Marlins are under this line, under 3.5 team total runs in 11 of their last 14 games. And they're also under this 3.5 in 20 of 31 games without Jazz Chisholm. So that's a pretty big sample size. A team that's really struggling to score, get runners on base, and to knock those guys in. Now, on the mound for the Texas Rangers, this is an early start. This is at like 1:10 p.m., so make sure you lock it in. But on the mound will be John Gray. Now, he's not necessarily, their best pitcher, definitely not their worst pitcher. 3.71 ERA, 1.126 WHIP. This guy's been serviceable this year, and he's also coming off his best start of the season. Now, granted, it was against the Oakland Athletics. They just caught a stray, but 7 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, and 9 Ks versus the Oakland A's. That's pretty good for him. We like to see that. And you look at it against the opposing teams, they've held them under 3.5 runs in 4 of his last 6 starts. So he hasn't really had those catastrophic starts. He could do that today, and the Marlins could bounce back, but I just don't see it happen today. And the Marlins, you look at also the Rangers bullpen, 13th in bullpen ERA. This team does have a couple turkey tossers that can come in and give up runs, but I do anticipate they can at least hold it down a little bit. Marlins are also just batting .205, the second worst in the MLB, have an on-base percentage of .265, the third worst in the MLB in July. Team really struggling to get runners on base. So taking their under 3.5 team total runs. If they want to bounce back out of that slump, just come out of the All-Star break firing on all cylinders, then so be it. But I got to take a stab at this one with John Gray and the Texas Rangers holding it down here. But that's going to be my play of the day. But Logan, you know what time it is. It's Nerfy Nation time, and that's what the people came here for. They've probably been missing this music, but look, you don't have to miss it no longer. The music's back, and we're ready to get into a groove the second half of the year. The first half, very kind to us. But today, we got another one for the people. Tigers Athletics, game 1, nowhere in first inning, minus 130 on Caesar Sportsbook. Now, I'll pull up the odds. You can see the odds here. FanDuel doesn't have a line just yet. Now, I do need to say before the 100 comments, this is game 1. Game 1 starting pretty early, I think at 3:37 p.m. Please don't ask us about game 2. You can take game 2 if you want. Maybe game 1 hits. Maybe you want to ride it with game 2. This is game 1, and you'll hear why. On the mound for Athletics, I believe his name's Zach Logue. But he's 6-0 on first innings so far this year. Look, we need that to be 7-0, my man. He's also nerfed versus the Detroit Tigers already this year. And we know the Tigers, 30th in first inning runs on the road. That's dead last. It's a team that's really struggled to get those runs. And bases, people on base really struggle in offense. I think he can get us those first 3 outs. What about the next guy, Logan?
Yeah, Tariq Skubal is going to get us those next 3 outs. And Skubal, we've picked a few Skubal nerfies, and they've treated us pretty well on the year. He's good. 13-5 on no-run first innings this year. He's been pretty solid, and that includes a nerfie versus the Oakland Athletics already. So you like to see that. Oakland, 23rd in first inning runs at home. Look, this Oakland A's offense struggles a lot to score at home. It's probably because they're eyesore of a ballpark. They really don't want to they don't want to score. They have like 10 fans in the stands. It's not motivating for them. Sorry. I'm calling it how I see it. Right, the over/under set to 7.5. Clearly not expecting a whole lot of fireworks in this one. I'm really comfortable. As you mentioned the earlier start time, I'm very comfortable picking game 1. No-run first inning in this one. I think it stands a really good chance of cashing. If you want to look at the slate, as we mentioned, it is a limited slate. If you want to look at another one, a possible pivot point for the late games, I think San Francisco and the Dodgers do have a really good shot at the nerfy bet, but it wouldn't be me double dipping with a total, right? That's a quick 0-2 if they just decide to score a million runs in the first inning. So I don't really, we don't want to double dip there, but we do like this Tigers versus A's one. And guys, we're gonna fly the flags. Nerfy Nation, second half of the year, this is our time.
Yeah, we need to get on a hot streak. Now, it does play into our benefit. This is going to be starting at like 12 p.m. local time. So maybe that helps us out. Maybe the batters just come and start swinging in the dirt. But those are our 3 plays of the day. No parlay of the day today. We don't want to force a parlay on a 6-game slate with unexpected pitchers. So those are our 3 plays. Tigers Athletics, game 1, no one first inning. Taking the Marlins team total under 3.5. Taking the under 8.5 in the Dodgers Giants game. We appreciate you guys. We're happy to be back. We're back again Friday morning. Same time, same place. We'll see you guys then. We'll catch you guys next tomorrow.